you will break this losing streak. That has to be a belief in your mind. You cannot go into day trading after losing 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row. That is going to be the same thing again. You have to believe that if you follow your rules, if you follow your plan, you will break the losing streak. Hey everyone, this is Carlos over at BearBullTraders.com. What you're about to see is a live recording on how to get over a losing streak. Hope you enjoy the audio and see you guys in the chat room. All right, so I wanted to take the time to kind of go over getting over a losing streak. I know it's something like me and Norm were talking about just before we started recording. It's something you want to have in your back pocket and eventually not use. It's kind of like we just said, it kind of like the seatbelt and the airbags in your car. You want to have them, but never actually use those features. But if you've been in a losing streak in the past, I sure have, or if you're going through one now, there are ways to get to be able to come out of those, break that losing streak. And some of the important things that we'll talk about today in our agenda here will be, the impacts of a losing streak, identifying the problem, how to do a hard reset, how do you get yourself, out of that mentality and back on the horse, and the most important thing, which I think is getting back to basics. Then we'll do some Q&A at the end. So here's some of the impacts of a losing streak. First thing we have is, and I think it's the number one thing, and a lot of these things on here will kind of can fit into this loss of confidence. That is a thing that really impacts our trading. The minute we have a losing streak, our confidence is at an all-time low. You feel that everything you take is going to be a losing trade. You lose confidence in your strategies. You no longer believe that your strategies that you have been doing so well in the past are now effective. And you feel that you just basically lose your mojo. You can identify good trading setups. Every trade you take immediately becomes a loser, at least in your mind frame. And you do whatever it takes to really keep trading, or you start questioning yourself: am I really wasting my time? With this trading, am I really fit to be a day trader? Am I really just throwing my money away? Should I start going back to a 9-to-5? Should I move on from this? So the loss of confidence in day trading is something that it will drastically impact your ability to trade well, to trade safe, to manage your risk and rewards, to just kind of look at the big picture. You're stuck just into that one single trade day after day after day, just that one trade that's losing, that constant one trade, and you're not looking at the big picture in a series of trades. The next thing we have on here is just it becomes the impulsive trading. Once you're in the losing streak, what happens is you're desperately looking for that next win. You want to become green. You want to be able to get back on the good side of things. So you start impulsive trading. You start taking setups that are not great setups in search of that winning trade. You start over trading and just kind of flipping your position. When you go short, you get stopped out. You immediately switch it to the long side. You get stopped out again. Just desperately taking trades just to get a winner. And in some cases, what it does is you're hesitant to take future trades because you're constantly getting stopped out by not having these great setups, right? You're taking these impulsive trades that the market is not giving you any edge or indication for you to jump in, and you're realizing you're just making mistake over mistakes. And again, this comes with the loss of confidence, right? I mean, it's just all these things here, all these 5 things I have listed here can all be overlapped into one big circle. Okay, they all have an impact on each other. They all can be attached to the same effects. So we left off again just with the emotions, right? Your mind is in control. Your emotions are in control of your mind, and not your mind in control of your emotions. And this is where you are so invested into one trade that you put all your eggs in that one single basket, that one single trade. You're so deeply invested that all you care is about this trade has to work. And the minute you start thinking this trade has to work, then you're not looking at the signals the market is giving you, whether it's telling you to go long or short. You start losing the process of being able to think unbiasedly and independent of what you want the market to do, what you want this trade to do, opposed to what is the market information feeding me? What am I getting here? What is the price action? Is this thing going to continue to go up the way I need it to, or is it going to drop down, or is it going to hit my stop loss? So emotional imbalance is something very important that you lose when you have a losing streak, because again, your mindset is just simply, I want to win. I want to get a winning trade and break this losing streak and end the day green. And within these losing streak, you have several wins. You'll have several wins, but the losses are bigger. And at the end of the day, you have a your P&L is red, right? So it's not that you are losing your 10 trades in a row. It's just every day at the end of the day, you have a red day, so you're not really getting to that win streak of having a green day and being able to say, hey, listen, I broke that streak, right? Then we go over onto pressure. Pressure is one of those things that day trading is full of pressure. It's probably one of the most stressful style of trading is day trading, right? If you swing trade, if you're an investor, they're longer term. They have less stress. You don't have to have that quick reaction. Making decisions in a matter of seconds to take the trade or not. That's pressure. And when you're in a losing streak, that pressure just adds on to again that emotional imbalance, that impulsiveness, and with the loss of confidence, it's just a domino effect that snowballs into something a lot bigger than what it should be. But these are the impacts that you're going to have on a losing streak. Pressure is also built up by fear of missing out, right? We're in the chat room, which is amazing to be around you guys in the community and see other people do well. But when you're in a losing streak and you see that, the fear of missing out tends to build up. And this is something that will go away with experience, because I had that same feeling. I'm sure other moderators as well have been there, where nothing is working for you. You have 4 days in a row that you're losing, but everybody else seems to be catching the winning trades and you're missing out. So that fear of missing out builds that pressure. Your family and friends also expect you to do well in day trading because they know the rumors, they know what the 90% chance is, they know how risky this are, and here you are. You took the leap of faith to make this work, and you're failing at it, right? You're failing, and that creates a pressure, to do well for your friends and family, needing to prove yourself to others, and to be able to be a successful trader. It can further add to that losing streak and that pressure. And then the ones that seals the deal at the end is the financial impact. This is where things really, you get the stamp and seal, like the nail in the coffin, right? While all the above is completely out of order, in a state of panic, at the end of the day, there's a very clear reminder of your trading performance. You don't have to wait for a review from your boss. You don't have to wait for the quarter to end. At the end of the day, right then and there, live, is your performance review. Right then and there, how are you trading, right? The final goal, what is it, green or not, right? So the numbers are available right there and there for you to reflect on your outcome, the byproduct of your trading, which is the ultimate goal here is to make money. Again, we spoke about this throughout the pre-market show a few times this week. The ultimate goal is to make money and be profitable in day trading. So when you're not hitting that ultimate goal day in and day out, again, it's just built into that pressure, that impact, that emotional imbalance, that impulsive trading, and that loss of confidence. Just continues to build and creating even a more disastrous chain of events. Okay, so what do we do to break that? What is the thing we have to do? The first thing you have to do is identify the problem, the real cause of the problem. And in most cases, it's not the loss of confidence, it's not the impulsive trading, it's not the emotional imbalance, not the pressure, it's not the financial impact. Something happened before that got you into this losing trade. So first thing you want to do is you want to have self-awareness. Do you know exactly what you're doing wrong? Are you tracking in your journal, these are the things where I'm failing, right? Are you reviewing your trades and finding out what is the common issue? There's something within those trades you have to be able to identify that you keep doing that's causing you to have a losing streak, okay? You need to be able to find out what that problem is to be able to fix it. My background is in operations, and we always say if you can measure something, you can manage it. If you can measure something, you can improve it. Same here. If you can track something, you can't fix it. You cannot know what is going on if you're not tracking this very, very closely. Are you hesitating to get into a trade when you're getting your signals? Are you violating your rules and not getting stopped out when you're supposed to? Are you following your plan and strategy? Right? In every trade, you should have a plan and strategy on what you're going to do. You shouldn't be going in blindly on any trade. There has to be some kind of chains of rules, things that you're following, chain of command, something in your plan, whatever you want to call it. It has to be a plan that you have to follow before you get into a trade. Are you trading within your time frames that you have proven to be successful? That's another one too. Sometimes we want to trade the entire day, right? We trade in the morning, then we trade in the afternoon, and then mid-morning or mid-afternoon, and things just don't seem to work out. If you're tracking your journal, you can see where you are most effective and more successful. And are you sticking to those time frames, right? Sometimes if we have a bad morning, we want to stay trading throughout the day and make up for that loss in the morning. But you might not be a good afternoon trader. You might not be a good midday trader. Vice versa, you might want to come in the morning and try it out, and you could be more of a trend trader. So you like the mid morning, you like that afternoon. So are you trading out of your comfort zone when it comes to a time frame? Okay, that's very important, because I know that especially for morning traders, if you have that loss in the morning, 1 or 2, 3 trades, there's still 6 hours left. There's still 5 hours left of the market. What else can I find here to get into a winning trade, right? Again, keeping a journal is very critical, because you can go back and see what changed. Okay, if you don't have that track record, that history of what changed, what went wrong, then how can you be able to be self-aware of what exactly is going wrong? Okay. Next thing we have is accountability. Once you find what you are doing wrong, whether you're missing your stops, not jumping into your trade, are you holding yourself responsible? Okay. And this is very important, because the hardest thing is to find what's wrong. Once you identify what's wrong, you have to do something about it. Okay, you can't just say, oh, I'm doing this. Well, okay, you're not following your stops, you're not following your rules. What are you going to do about it? So after identifying a potential issue, you have to hold yourself accountable, and there is nobody else that's going to do this for you. This is all on you. This is not a 9 to 5. There's nobody over you watching you. You're not in a hedge fund. You're trading for yourself. So what you want to do is you need to be your own boss. You need to be your own. You have to have your own self-check and be aware of, what am I doing here? How I'm going to hold myself accountable. Okay. If you were working in a 9 to 5, your boss came over and tells you, hey, listen, you went over this report over here and forgot to put this dot over here at the end of the sentence. And the next report you do for the month, please put that dot on there, or I'm going to have to write you up or fire you. You are going to make sure that dot is there, nice and clear. You're not going to forget, because you have somebody holding you accountable to that. In trading, nobody else is going to do this but you. So you have to set your rules. You have to set your parameters, and you yourself have to put on a different hat and make sure you're holding yourself accountable for that stop loss, for those rules. Okay. And again, we don't expect you to be green. Nobody expects you to be green, because your plans and your rules do not require you to be green at the end of the day. Your plans and your rules require you to follow the process. Okay. So sometimes we identify what the problem is, and then we identify the problem and the goal as being green. And the goal is never to be green. The goal is the process. Are you following your process? Okay. If you work for a company and you did everything right and the outcome was not what everyone expected in the company, you're not going to get a fault for that, right? If you did the process and you did what they asked you, then the outcome just didn't work out. Same thing with trading. If you do your process and the outcome at the end doesn't work out, then there's nothing to be ashamed of. That does happen. You will get stopped out. You will have situations where you did everything right and it won't work. But the minute that situation gets out of control and you start not believing in your rules, which is actually the next one here, right? Beliefs is your mind and your thoughts align with your plan. So you can have the best plan, you can have the best accountability, you have the self-awareness, you know exactly what's going on. But if you don't believe yourself in the plans and your plan and your thoughts, then the rest doesn't mean anything. So this is as important as finding out what the actual problem is. The mind could be your worst enemy. You really have to believe that that you're working towards being a successful day trader. That is your ultimate goal. It's not to be green, it's not to make money, it's to be a successful day trader. And what are the steps to be a successful day trader, right? And we'll get into that in the next few slides on what is your mentality has to be and what do you have to believe. Now, any doubt in that simple belief that you're working towards being a successful technical day trader can trickle down to your trading and your decision making. It can do things into your mind that causes the lack of confidence. You start doubting yourself, all the things we talked about that are involved in the impacts of a losing streak. Okay. And you have to believe that you will break this losing streak. That has to be a belief in your mind. You cannot go into day trading after losing 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row. That is going to be the same thing again. You have to believe that if you follow your rules, if you follow your plan, you will break the losing streak. If you don't believe that, then you're going to do things that do not live up to this belief here. You're going to do things that are not within your plan, that are not within your rules, just to push a green trade or just to push a winning day. And this is where things just snowball out of control. Okay. So how can we start fresh? How can we do a hard reset? We're all different traders, and we all work in different ways. And things are not the same. What works for me that might not work for you. But there has to be a hard reset, a fresh start, for you to be able to get back into a state of mind that you can continue trading successfully. Okay. So how do we do a hard reset? Few things we can do. One of the things is go back to sim, right? Going back to sim can remind you what a great trader you are. I mean, sometimes going back to sim, you don't have the pressure that's not there, and you can see what a great trader you can be without that pressure, right? And simulation can do that for you. You can build confidence again in your strategies. Your P&L is not a factor anymore. You're not worried about your P&L. You're worried just about the simple strategies, right? But the key thing is going back to simulation, you have to stick to your rules and your strategies. You cannot go in there averaging down, taking bigger size than what you would normally take. You know what it feels like to trade in live already. You've done it for a while. You've done it for several months, several weeks. You've been in good situations. You've been in bad situations. So you know what that is like. Going back to sim, taking that same experience from being live, again, can remind you what a great trader you can be when you are not trading under pressure. Under pressure causes a lot of problems. Again, we spoke about those at the beginning, those 5 areas that you can kind of bundle into one circle, right? That loss of confidence. All right. And do this for a set amount of time. Do not do this for one day and then have a green day and then go back to live, because that could happen. You want to be somewhat consistent. That could happen to anyone. You have a green day in live, and then in sim, and then you go back to live and you have a losing day. Well, that's not going to give you a good a sample set. You want to get a very nice sample set here. So do it for at least a week. Go through the motions of seeing different setups during different days, different market conditions throughout the week. And you're going to see that even in simulation, you're going to have your green days, you're going to have your red days, but you're going to be trading with the ease of no pressure, right? No pressure from a financial impact, no pressure to be green, no pressure from the P&L, and just build that confidence back. All right. The next thing that can work for you is also reducing your share size. Some people do not believe in going back to sim. They see it as a waste of time. Again, here, one size does not fit all. Okay, you have to be able to see what works for you personally based on your personality, your trading style. So maybe you can reduce share size. Reducing share size, can take can release some of that pressure that you're getting from a P&L, from having bigger losses, right? Can release that pressure and allow you to trade better without the sense of having to have a green day, right? And you need to control the urge of moving your size back to full size again. You need to be able to say, you know what, I'm going, again, just like going back to sim. You have to stick to it for a few days, maybe a week or two, maybe 3, maybe a month. There's no set time frame, but you have to find out what works for you. And identifying what works for you is what's going to make you a better trader by far. So the next thing we have on here is, taking a break. Take a few days off from the market. It's a great way to decompress and be able to reset and really take off. Do not log on to see what's going on in the market. Don't jump in the afternoon because, I'm curious. Wow, AMD did a good move and you got an alert on your phone. So now you want to go see what a great move you missed. No, completely take off. Go do something you love, right? Go read a book, go to the gym, go work out, go for a bike ride. Not if you're in the Northeast because it's very cold, but do something that you really enjoy to take your mind off trading. Sometimes we overthink things. We overanalyze trading, and go back and read Andrew's book and realize how simple and fun trading can be if done correctly, if you follow your rules. Okay. So this could be something that can help you. And again, take a few days off. Don't take 2 days and then come back and feel like you're going to be okay. Maybe you take off a Thursday and a Friday, come back on a Monday, right? Really, really disconnect from trading. Revisit your journal. And next week we're gonna have a seminar on journal and templates and things like how to track your a proper journal, things that you should be able to have on there to review in case this happens, right? First things first. If you're not tracking a journal now, that's a big mistake. You have to track your journal. Some of the best traders have a journal. They can go back and see what changed, right? This is part of self-awareness. How can I identify what changed in my strategy? What is this strategy is not working? Am I getting out too late? Am I not taking the edges and alerts that I'm getting, my indications to jump in a trade? Am I not reacting fast enough? You can see what's going on if you go back to your journal. But the most important thing on here is, go back to your journal and review your good trades, right? You got to track both good and bad, because you need to go back to those good trades and look at your well done notes. That's what I call them. I call them well done. Because in every trade, you're going to do something right and you're going to do something that's going to need improvement. Okay, so I don't say errors, I don't say mistakes. It's more called improvement needed. Okay, so look at the trades that you did very well on. Look at the ones you took the perfect entry. You follow your rules. Look at the ones that you got stopped out, and you also follow your rules, and you didn't lose much. Then you got back in and was able to make a winning trade. You have to remind yourself that you're able to do this, right? You're able to day trade. You're not someone that just for some reason just changed completely. You're the same person, right? So something else changed in your trading style. And you just kind of need to build your confidence back and understand that you're the same trader. Yes, the market conditions might change, and some strategies might not work better than others at a specific time frame. That does happen, but overall, it will not create a losing streak of 4, 5, 6 days. Okay, and this is one of my favorites. Actually, this is one that when things call for drastic measures, calls for drastic decisions, right? List of fears. Make a list of fears. And what that is what would happen if I cannot day trade anymore? Okay, make that list. And what I mean by that, very simple. For me, let's say I will have to go back to a 9 to 5. I will not have the freedom to be my own boss, right? And write these down very clearly in bold letters, in pen. I will not be able to spend more time with my daughter, right? What this is going to do is, and what you could do here, you could mix and match, right? Maybe you're not going to do all of these, but you could do the ones that apply to you and your personality, okay? So look at what is going to happen if you do not stay disciplined, and if you do not follow the rules that you need to follow to be a successful day trader, right? This works for people. Do a list of fears, because sometimes you need to understand, you need to be shaken up, saying, hey, dude or gal, you need to get it together, or else you're not going to be able to enjoy the benefits of being a day trader. The reason why you got into this career. Okay, so very important. Do a list of fears, mix and match this up, see what works for you. One might work more than the other, and then have this in your back pocket. And if you have not yet been in a losing streak, now you have this in your back pocket where you can reach out to in case you need it. Hopefully you won't. And if you have been in a losing streak, then you already have some ideas on what worked for you. Make sure you write those down on what you did to be able to jump out of that losing streak. Okay. All right. Here's probably the most important part of this presentation. Getting back to basics. How will you succeed? Okay. How are you going to get back on the horse, and how you're going to plan for the future? All right. Outline your plan. Clearly outline your plan. And that's just very simple. Identify the pattern for your strategy. What is the pattern for your strategy? Identify the risk to reward, and identify the entry signal. Okay, that's very simple. That's your plan. That is clearly your plan. It's as basic as that. Identify the opening range breakup. Where's my risk to reward? Enter the trade. Okay. Obviously, yes, there are things within these that you have to make sure they all check out your criteria. You guys got to have volume. You got to have the price action has to look good. But in some cases, you are identifying these plans, but since your confidence at the moment is not where it needs to be, you overthink things, right? You want the actual pattern to happen. And then when you get in, guess what? You miss your opportunity. Your risk to reward is not great. Now you're chasing. Now you get stopped out. It just, again, adds on to the pressure and the loss of confidence. So you need to reset completely. After that hard reset, go back to the basics. What is my plan? What is my strategy? Where's my risk to reward? Where's my entry signal? Go back to the classes. Take class 1 through 5 again. Review them carefully and just see how simple trading can be if done correctly. Okay. The next is define your rules. Right? No averaging down. That's a big rule for me. I don't average down. Predetermined stop loss. Trade small. Okay, so define what your rules are. I just got these 3 on here. This could be very different for you. But again, outline what your rules are. This is what my rules are. These are what I'm not going to break. This is what I'm going to stick to. I'm not going to overtrade. I'm not going to predetermine my stop. I'm going to determine my stop loss on every trade I take. I'm not just going to go in blindly. I'm not going to follow Andrew, Norm, or Peter, or myself on anything they take. I'm going to have this strategy built in first before I jump in. When any one of us calls something out, I'm going to review it. I'm going to pop it up, and I'm going to identify my plan. If my plan fits into what they're doing, then I'm going to jump in. Okay? Now, the hardest part about this, these 2 are easy. We all can do this, and we all should have this already laid out. Here's the one that gets people. Execution. Okay? Execution is the one that really, this is where the men separates the men from the boy, the women from the girls, the pro from the amateurs. and the Andrews from the wannabes. That's it. This is it, guys. Right? Execute your plan. This is your plan. Execute it. You have it right in front of you. You have your sticky notes. You have your notes on Microsoft Note. You have your videos, your YouTube recaps. You have your whiteboard like I have here. Execute the plan. Right? That's all you have to do. You have your plan. Execute it. You know, there's no need to be afraid of getting stopped out. There's no need to be afraid of getting a losing trade, because you have your rules. You know what you're going to do. You know what to expect. The only thing you're going to expect is that it's going to go one way or the other, and you have your plan. Okay, you have your plan and your rules. So execute your plan. Execute your rules, right? Once you're in, you know your rules, right? If the stock, and again, it's not all on the negative side. If the stock makes a big move and it's at a technical level, take profit. You know, don't hold it. Don't wait till it comes back down to you. And now you're scrambling and you're getting out for everything at break even. So execute your rules, execute your plan, and just stay focused on what you need to do. Okay, that is probably one of the hardest things that a trader has to do, is executing the plan. We have all the information, we have read all the books, we have seen all the recaps on YouTube, but we don't execute it. Okay, and very, very big here. These two have to be in perfect harmony. All right. So what do I mean by that? You cannot execute the plan and not execute your rules. You can't do that, because if you execute your plan, you got a great entry, but then, you know, it goes against you. You don't get stopped out, or traded too big, and now your emotions are in play. Then you're not going to trade well, right? Vice versa. You cannot execute the plan and then not execute your rules. Or I'm sorry, the other way. You don't execute your plan and you get into a bad entry, and you're executing your rules. So you didn't execute the plan correctly. You missed your entry. You chased it, but you executed the rules properly because you got stopped out, right? So it's got to be in harmony. You got to execute both of them. Execute the plan, execute the rules, and that's it. You know, the rest is history. You are going to be able to find your way out of this losing streak. Okay? Here it is. Combination has to be in full harmony. All right. So that's it, guys. Just very simple things to do. Again, understand the impacts of a losing trade, how it will mentally affect your trading. You know, identify the root issue of trading. Okay, you just have to know exactly what's going on when you have a losing streak. The losing streak did not happen just because the emotional stuff. Something happened before that is causing your losing streak. You're not following your rules. You're not following your plan. You're not executing correctly. Okay, then comes the losing streak, then comes the emotion, then comes the financial impact. So identify what got you there in the first place and work on fixing those problems. Hold that power button, right? Hard reset. You know what you have to do. Try those things, and if you come up with something that works for you, make sure you note it down on what works for you to be able to see how you can reset your mindset. Okay. And then get back to the basics. Again, very simple. 1, 2, 3. You know, Andrew's book is all about how basic trading can be, right? How easy it can be and how fun it can be if you do it correctly. Okay. And most important, trust your skills and your strategy. You know, when we lose confidence, we start doubting our strategy. We start doubting our skills. And the skills are there. You know, you've done it before. You did it plenty of time for months, all back and forth. So trust your skills, trust your strategy, understand the goal here. The goal here is that you are a successful technical day trader. Okay, that's the goal, a successful technical day trader. So you have to look at the steps of what you need to do to become that. Okay, and that's not gonna your grade on that is not based on your P&L. Your P&L comes after the fact. That's the byproduct of being a great technical trader, right? Following your rules, following your plan, and that last one, which is huge, executing your plan. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this live recording. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at carlos@barebulltraders.com.